Hello and welcome to another lesson about Bluefort's license and subscription app embedded in Microsoft Dynamics 365 for finance and supply chain, otherwise known as finance and operations. In this lesson we'll be discussing renewals. There are three types of renewals that we currently support in the product, and these are term renewals without a chain, term renewals with a chain, and line level renewals. I'll jump right into the application to demonstrate these three types of renewals that we support. So I'm in the finance and operations client. I'll jump over into the subscription management module, subscription management cockpit, and I'll go directly to my favorite customer, Contoso, and I'll head over to this customer. I will create a new plan. I will select CSP per unit and this billing posting profile. I will click OK here and jump right into the renewal options. So this is the billing period cycle is 1 month, so I will select the 1st of September as the start date, and if I add 3 billing cycles before renewal, this will be the end of November. But since I'm not chaining in this first example into a new plan, actually what this will be an automatic cancellation after that date. So I will click OK, refresh the screen, and I'll have there the global and start dates and end dates automatically calculated. I will create my first plan line, and that has automatically the global start date and end date, and there are validations to ensure that you don't create any plan lines which are either before or after the global start and end dates of the plan. So I can now go ahead and publish this subscription plan, run the master process, and the first set of actions for the first billing cycle will happen, and now the next billing cycle starts on the 1st October, which is still within the global start and end date. So I'll quickly process the actions and firm them, and I'll fast track into the next month. Any day in the next month will do. Run again the master process, and again the actions for the next month are generated. I'll once again firm these actions and move to the next month. Run the master process to simulate the next month, and again I get the actions which I will now firm, and now I'll move into the next month, which is the 1st of December, and as you know, the 1st of December is 1 day after the global end date of this subscription plan. Thus at this point I expect that my subscription plan gets automatically cancelled by the master process and no new actions are generated at this point. So there you go, no actions generated, my plan lines are deactivated and my subscription plan is cancelled, and you can view the deactivated lines from the filter if you would like to do so. So that is the first example. So there we have a renewal option without any chaining. So now I'll demonstrate the second example, which is renewal option of a term renewal but with chaining. So I'll again quickly create a plan. I'll set the renewal to be starting on the 1st with 3 cycles, just as before, and click OK, and I will create a plan with one item. So now maybe you have contractually you have a situation, for example, where after 3 months the customer will onboard a new term, a new contract with a different set of items. So in this case I've created a plan with one item. Now I'll create a second plan. In this case I will set my start date to be the 1st of December, which is the day after the end of the first plan's term renewal. And again, in this case I'll do another 3 months, which will be the end of February 2021. I go on the original plan, renewal options, and select the next plan in the cycle. So there you can see that we've created a chain. So from this date to this date we will be billing this plan, and automatically from the 1st of December onwards the new plan will kick in, which will have a different set of items to be billed to this customer. And at the moment we are currently in the first plan. So there we click OK, and then we move to the second plan, for example, and we will create one item starting from the 1st December, and this plan will be slightly different because it will have also this item added to it. And we can go ahead and publish the first plan. Something noteworthy here is that the second plan doesn't need to be published. You can leave it in draft mode. The master process on the 1st of December will automatically cancel the first subscription plan and put the second subscription plan into published state. Also, it is worth noting that the start date of the next plan in the chain doesn't have to be exactly the day after the end date of the first plan in the chain. It could be any date after the end date. So we will now move our parameter back to September, run the master process, and again I'll fast track through the options here. We'll move to the second cycle, run the master process, confirm the actions, and go to the next month, master process, confirm the actions. I'm taking a stepped approach here. I'm doing it cycle by cycle so that you'll understand what's happening and what happens differently. So this is the last billing cycle of this term. I process the actions, and now I'm going to set my date to the 1st of December, and here is where you'd expect the switch to happen between the first and the second plan. So it's the 1st of December, so what we expect now that for the first plan no actions are generated, the lines are deactivated and the subscription plan is cancelled, but also that it's automatically renewed into a new version of the plan, which is the second plan there. So I'll do the master process, and there we are. No actions are being created. The line is now disabled, it's not enabled, the plan is cancelled, and the next subscription plan in the chain is published automatically. So of course if you have a batch process, the batch process will be running across multiple plans, and it will also create the actions for the new plan. But in this case, since I'm executing the master process on a plan by plan basis, I will also manually need to rerun the master process for this subscription plan. And there we go again. We have now the lines, the actions for the new plan, and now we have 4 lines instead of 2 lines because of course in this case we have a new version of the plan which started on the 1st of December containing 2 lines. So 2 lines for the sales actions and 2 lines for the purchase order actions. So that was the second supported method of renewals. Now we also do auto cancellation and renewal actions on the line level. So I will demonstrate that now. I will create a new plan for CSP, and what I'll do now, in this case I'll create a yearly plan, so I do need revenue recognition, so that is a yearly 12 months rolling contract. Okay, so now on the renewal options I'll say that there is auto cancellation but with a renewal notice, for example, of 30 days. I will create a new line for this plan. So in this case again there's no global start and end date because we are using the default philosophy of this application that subscription plans continue running forever, because you're building a lifetime customer relationship. This is what we want by default, but in the previous examples we saw how we can make them time bound, and we bind the plans with a start and end date. But in this case it's not bound by global start and end dates, and instead we will send a renewal notification to customers, because in some jurisdictions actually it is you are legally obliged to inform the customer that you will be automatically renewing the subscription for them and they have to confirm. So let's publish this plan. Let's move our test date back to the present. Don't forget that this is now a yearly rolling subscription plan. We run the master process, and what happened now is that it created actions for 1 year, but don't forget that we set up the renewal to be 30 days before the end of the current cycle. So what I'll do now, so the next action is on the 1st of September 2021, so I will put my date to, for example, the 1st of September 2021, which is well within the fence. No, actually it's the 1st of September, so let's put it let's say the 15th of August. Okay, so let's frame those actions first to get them out of our way. And now we will run the master process as if it's the 15th of August. So here we can see that the 15th of August is within the 30-day time fence that we set up. So what happens here, that a renewal approval action is generated, and don't forget that you can tie up the renewal approvals actions to the business event framework of Dynamics. so that you could automatically send an email to your customer or to your channel partner or to your account manager that this particular subscription plan is up for renewal. Renewal approvals are special in the sense that they can be firmed and they should be firmed when the customer confirms actually that they are renewing. So what happens, you basically have two options here. You can either get a confirmation from the customer, which in this case you will firm the action, or the customer may not reply or might say that he is not willing to renew. So you can either leave the action unfirmed or you can go ahead and cancel the action. So let's say the customer does not want to renew, so we will cancel the renewal approval. We give a reason code, and now this action goes to the cancel tab. And what will happen now is that on the 1st of September 2021, we update the test date for the master process, then no renewal is firmed, so it won't find a renewal action which is firmed, and in this case it will go ahead and once again deactivate that line. So I will run the master process, and as you can see now it has been disabled. This line has been disabled for us, so we will no longer for this particular line renew and create a billing for it. So that has been the third mechanism how we handle renewals and automatic cancellations for subscriptions. I hope it was clear. If you have any questions, as always, please send me an email, get in touch with me or anyone at the Blue 4 team, and we'll be happy to help you. If you have any feedback, the same thing applies. I hope that you've enjoyed this lesson. Keep in touch because more lessons are coming up. Thank you very much.